If you guys need cheap coins, check out FIFA Coin Stock down below in the description, dirty at checkout. And if you want cheap games, cheap codes, G2A also down below. What's happening, beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike and welcome back to another formation review. And today we've got one of my favorite formations, the 4-2-2, my bread and butter. If you enjoy the content, hit that like button. I know we can smash 500, 600, 700 likes. You guys want instructions, you want the strengths, the weaknesses, all of the above. And we're going to cover all the basics as well as some in-depth knowledge with the 4-2-2. Here we go with the highlights. And if you guys need the best tactics, the best instructions for the 4-2-2, it'll make you better at FIFA, I promise. My good friend Ovi. It's going to be links on the screen, links in the description. He's got you covered. His video is dropping at the exact same time that this one goes live. So I highly encourage you to go over there, show him some love, keep it dirty. But let's talk about the strengths as you see me breaking it down. We are working the opposition. This squad is very successful, easy to use and abuse with. If you enjoy using skill moves and just putting on some showmanship while you're winning matches, the 4-2-2 will work for you, and it's very versatile. You can either play a very attacking 4-2-4 as look at Leighton Baines. What? That is a thing of beauty, and I include him in a lot of squads for his free kicks and his ability to drive the ball from distance and make highlights. You can also play the 4-2-2 kind of in a 6-4 format if you want to go very defensive. It can look like the 4-2-2, and you have a lot of different spacing options for skill move sessions as well as closing out matches when your opponent is pressuring. You need that extra space. It just makes life a lot easier. And I find that this formation provides you with a little bit of some additional time on the ball. And you can still counterattack. And I don't feel rushed all that often. And then you have two CDMs that have free roam tackling. These guys are going to make a big difference in every single match because they don't need to man mark. You can kind of drift and always be chasing back as we get a free kick there with Zarate, back of the net. I appreciate it. And I really enjoy having a structured attack and a structured defense. And that's where the 4-2-2 has been bread, butter, biscuits, ham, cheese, all of the above for myself. Is because I'm a very structured player. It's good versus the 4-5-1 as well as the 4-2-3-1, which I'm going to touch on just briefly very soon. And in terms of weaknesses, sometimes it takes people a good amount of experience to kind of adjust to this formation, and you have to have fast center attacking mids to really maximize the 4-2-2. I think that it doesn't necessarily have weaknesses, but some formations that can cause problems is the 3-5-2 and even mirror matches versus another 4-2-2, or possibly if you're even going against a 4-1-2-1-2, which can look very similar on paper. In fact, if you're playing head-to-head, they also label the 4-1-2-1-2 as a 4-2-2 variation. Oh, here we go, squad building 101, and we've got one of the better non-rare players in FIFA 15, especially in the BPL, Zarate. High-low work rates, 4-star sealer, he can finish 1v1s, team him up with a power striker in Martinez, who's been all over the radar for me. They are scoring goals left and right, and if you can get a high-low, a high-medium work rate for your strikers, for your center attacking mids, it'll make everything flow a lot more natural and organic in the 4-2-2. Jovetic is a cam. That is the ideal position in my opinion. He can pass. He's got the skills. He can shoot from anywhere. He's dribbling. Ooh, it's icy. And he just doesn't have a ton of pace. So I found him a lot easier to use as a center attacking mid or even a center forward over that default striker position. Quintero, he's been above average for me. There are better options, but in this squad, I wanted the hybrid. I wanted the mix-up. I wanted Martinez, so he had to be there. And then Perez, as well as the big man on campus. Other CDM from West Ham. Made a transfer, actually. I think he was in the Belgium League last year? But as long as you can get a very physical CDM and then one guy that'll sit back, where Perez kind of gives you the overall center mid / CDM approach, and he's got those medium-high work rates, really helps. He's going to sit on that back line. You don't have to worry about him too much. And then in terms of fullbacks, Danilo and Leighton Baines, two guys I really enjoy using. They've got the typical, I guess, default fullback work rates, high mediums. And then center backs, Koscielny and Lisandro Lopez, and not Lisandro Lopez from the past. If you guys can recall in FUT 3 or 4 years ago, man, he was on point. He was a striker. He was a big dude, and he was scoring goals. Oh, his finesse shot was a thing of beauty. Both of them have medium-high work rates. I like that. Szczesny and net, if you need a cheap option, he's a great go-to in the BPL. He's big. He makes a lot of clutch saves. You're going to have a lot of success versus the 4-5-1. It seems very easy to build up. All those midfielders, they just don't get back. A lot of space for you. And most formations that have one striker and kind of dictate through the middle are going to struggle a lot versus the 4-2-2 because the CDMs hold it down. And that's all I could say about the 4-2-3-1. They're not going to be able to create a lot of chances. And you can counter via just your strikers. I feel like I get loose a lot and I just hit 1-2, 1-2, and we're gone. We're off to the races, and we're going to score goals without even having to use the midfield. And weaknesses, and as I mentioned before, it might not be a weakness, but things that could be concerning is the 3-5-2. If you play against somebody in a high division that knows how to rush and really disrupt slow build-up and can change the speed of play, you could be in for a hurting. And I went against a couple 3-5-2s in my clips, and I could see room for some problems. And in mirror matchups, if you're playing against a 4-2-2 or a 4-1-2-1-2, you always run the risk of it going really well or going not so well because you're going to have players in similar areas on the pitch, and that can always go left or it can go right. If you guys enjoyed the content, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Dirty Mike USA, and I have a lot more content coming for you ASAP.